It was a smile. Not hers, his. A man I barely knew, standing at the edge of the church reception, raising his glass to her across the crowded hall. A silent toast. A gesture too familiar. My wife's eyes flickered toward him, just for a second, quick enough to pass unnoticed, unless you were me. Unless you had already memorized every twitch of her face, every false grin she had worn since the night our son was dying. That night, when the hospital called with the number, $76,000, the price of hope. She refused. She said we couldn't afford it. Weeks later, she wrote a check for $180,000 for her sister's wedding. Our son's grave cost less than the flowers on that altar. Now, years later, this man stood across the room, smiling at her like she belonged to him. And something cold slid down my spine. I should have let it go. Pretend it was nothing. Pretend I didn't see what I saw. That's what most men do. But I am not most men. The truth is a quiet infection. It starts with doubt, spreads with silence, and kills you long before it shows. I remembered her words the night she refused. We can't risk our future for a treatment that might not even work. But she risked nothing at all when she buried him. And then she smiled at a man while our boy's name was still carved fresh in stone. She told me later the wedding was an investment in family. She never explained whose family. Now, years later, the man's face gave me the missing piece. His eyes on her. Her tiny, hidden smile. I left the reception quietly. Nobody noticed, not even her. The investigation was not dramatic. It was quiet, clinical. Phone records, bank statements, a DNA test I ordered under the guise of a genealogy kit. All small steps. No questions, no raised voices. She thought I was sleeping next to her, but I wasn't. I was memorizing her late-night messages, the way her lips twitched when her phone buzzed, the way she walked into another room to take a call. I replayed the night in the hospital over and over, her calm refusal, no hesitation, no tears. And I asked myself a question I had buried: why was she so sure? The results came back slowly, piece by piece. His number on her phone bill, years long. The wire transfer she never mentioned. And the test, my son's DNA, compared against mine. The report landed on my desk with clinical precision. 0% probability of paternity. I waited. I didn't confront her that night, or the next. I chose a Tuesday, the kind of day nobody remembers. The report sat between us at the kitchen table. She laughed when she first saw it, a brittle, nervous sound. Then she read. Her face drained. Her hands trembled. I didn't speak. I didn't curse or break dishes. I just watched her, calm, detached. Finally she whispered, "You don't understand." But I did. I understood perfectly. Our son was never mine. She had chosen a man across a crowded room long before she chose me. She had chosen a wedding over a life, because it wasn't my life to save. I slid the report back across the table. "Give it to him," I said quietly. "He'll want to see what he paid for." Her eyes widened. Panic flickered. "Please don't." But I had already stood. No screaming, no threats. Just silence. A silence heavier than rage. I left her in that kitchen, surrounded by lies she could no longer control. The real punishment wasn't exposure to me. It was exposure to him. The man who had lived comfortably in shadows, unaware that shadows vanish under scrutiny. I didn't return that night, or the one after. The house felt lighter once I left it behind. Strange how betrayal clears the air like smoke after fire. I thought of my son, his face, his last words, the way he reached for me, believing I was his father. In some ways, I was. In the ways that mattered. The nights, the stories, the hand I held while machines beeped. But truth is cruel. It takes more than love. It takes blood. and the blood was never mine. Now I carry clarity instead of grief. She carries the weight. And I walk away with nothing except freedom. Because sometimes the cruelest revenge is not destroying them, it's leaving them alive with the truth.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.